Hey guys, this is Rogues7, just doing a quick video about this flash hider. This is one of those Noveske KFH flash hiders, or the Noveske amplifier better known as, from Samoon. So this is one of those very good looking flash hiders that you can get from his website. Samoon also sells a couple of other flash hiders, like the SRVV, which I think that's a flash hider for an AK-107, I'm not exactly sure. It's a very good looking one. Like, you can check it all of his website. I'll leave a picture up for you guys or something like that. He also sells the DTK1, which looks a lot like this, which actually looks exactly like this. This one though is from LCT. So because it's from LCT, it has a 14mm thread, and this right here is a faceless adapter. I think he also makes another Zenit one, and he also has a Surefire one. So he has a lot of different flash hider options if you want a flash hider on your AK. I believe he also makes a suppressor. It's called DTK something. I forgot. It had a weird Russian name on it. I can't do Russian, so forget it. I can't even do Chinese, so forget Russian. Anyways, so I'm making this video primarily because I was really interested in this flash hider, but I could not see the internal structure, and I wasn't exactly sure if it was a good fit on an AK. So this video will primarily focus on this only. We'll pretty much focus on this only. So just to let you know, the whole entire thing is very heavy. It's completely made of steel. I cannot seem to disassemble it because it's frankly quite difficult. I wonder if it involves taking off this ring first, but I can't take it off for the life of God. Anyways, and this inner thing right over here, this cone piece, can actually move in and out about maybe a millimeter. Can you actually see inside that you can move it ever so slightly, but it doesn't seem to make any sounds whatsoever. In fact, when you install this on your AK, it doesn't seem to amplify the noise whatsoever. So this is basically looks like an amplifier, but does nothing close to an amplifier, which I'm okay with. I'm just buying this for looks. It looks a lot like a Bulgarian 4-piece flash hider, so that's the reason why I decided to get it. Although I'm not exactly why they have the Noveske markings on it, is because in the real steel world, I could not find anything related to Noveske related to this. So I'm not exactly sure why there are Noveske markings on it. I'm told that this could have been some sort of a one-time spin-off that Noveske did. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not too familiar with my real steel knowledge, so forgive me on that. But yeah, just a very good looking flash hider, and just to show you guys the weight, which is really worth noting because the weight is really different. Almost made the original one feel like aluminum, which it's not. So the original one is around 71.3 grams. This one with the faceless aluminum adapter, and this is a steel DTK LCT flash hider. This is around 150 grams. And for the moment of truth, the KFH is 191 grams. So this is heavier than all of this, and this is pretty much heavier than most of the other small suppressors that I have for my M4s. This is straight up the heaviest flash hider that I've ever owned, ever. That I've ever seen, actually, for that matter. So I was very surprised. And just to let you guys know, for those people who are not familiar with GHK AKs, all GHK AKs, with the exception of the RPK, come with 24mm clockwise threads. So it's sort of tricky to find a flash hider. That's why I'm making this video. Just to show you guys one particular flash hider that many people are interested in. I'm pretty sure many people are interested in this thing. Because once you put it on a crank off, it looks pretty cool, which is what I will do right now. So this is my GHK AKS 74U. It's mostly stock. I did do some internal work. Some, but not by much. And when you install this, by the way, the inner thing does reach the support of your inner barrel. I upgraded my inner barrel to a Mad Bull 247mm barrel. I think it's 247. I'm pretty sure it is 247 because that's like a P90 barrel. I could be wrong about both of those things. I hope not. Oops, my bad. So when you screw it on, it's very simple, but I will note something which I'm about to show you right now. So right here, I have it torqued down all the way. Can you actually see that the nub on the front post is actually not engaging the flash hider? So basically, it's not locked. So I can actually turn this out of position very, very easily right now. But basically, can you notice the orientation of the markings? Okay, the markings at the very, very bottom. And now I'm going to move it to a locked position. Sorry, I burped. Okay, so I just locked it to a position. Now notice the orientation of the markings. It's completely upside down. So the orientation of the markings are a little bit weird when you have this flash hider installed. At least for me, so far it is. So if you want it to the correct orientation, you have to turn another click. And now the markings are a little bit better. Notice that the markings is still not really centered at all, which is not, again, is not a big deal. But if you want this for aesthetics, it sort of matters for some people. So in my case, I prefer all my stuff to not wobble at all. So I like to torque my flash hider all the way down until it bumps up against the front post. That's how I like it. So that's how I run the AK, in fact. And just to show you guys, the inner barrel is actually quite deep inside of this flash hider. It's actually like almost an inch inside. Not completely an inch, but almost an inch inside the flash hider. And it seems to sit very, very well. It doesn't seem to interfere whatsoever. My inner barrel is very, very sturdy because I have spacers strategically placed in the areas that you can put spacers on. So that's how I keep my inner barrel very, very stable. That's how I did it for my AK. I'll show you guys that one day, but that doesn't really matter in this video. I'm just letting you guys know that I did it. And here is the sound. So right off the bat, you can probably tell, like, a lot of people fire AKs on YouTube, it's not any louder. But an AK is very, very loud in general, so that might be affecting my judgment. But I'm going to tell you right now, there doesn't seem to be any sort of an amplifying effect when I use this. I don't hear anything different. I will say that whenever I fire my AK, it gives away my position very, very easily, which sort of makes me want to get a suppressor, but I'm pretty sure most of the sound is coming from this, because that's already pretty noisy as it is. So that's quite interesting. Makes the AKS-74U look pretty good, especially when you have an Ultimac rail, which this is a real one, by the way, for a crank-off. It needed a little bit of fitment, which is, I'm still working on it to make sure it's stable, because I have a Bushnell on it, so I need to make sure it actually holds 0 and actually stays in here, which I'll make a video on that some other day. So anyways, just an interesting video about the Noveske flash hiders. If one day if I get another flash hider, I might want to put it on an AK-105 or something like that, because I really, really like the SRVB flathead that I saw on Samoon's website. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Also a Facebook page that you can follow me on, in which I'll leave a link in the description box below. Peace, guys. Happy shooting.